Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the football podcast. Join Paul and the gang talking football. That's why you're here, that's why you've joined, that's why you are a member of the CookieCast crew. And if you're not a member of the CookieCast crew, now is the time. Click those buttons, people. Like, share, subscribe, comment. When you're leaving your comment saying, I love this podcast, think, who else do I know who might love this podcast? Ah, yes, my good friend who likes the football. Right, let's get started. Here we go. This is CookieCast, the football podcast.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and it is your weekly fix of football from us here at the CookieCast Podcast Network. We're going to bring things Borough, Hull and Nottingham Forest your way, but I can't just do it alone. I, of course, have my two wonderful co-hosts here, Mr. Woodmansey and Mr. Mo. How are we this week, gents?
Oh, tired, but other than that.
Yes, indeed. So, let's wait around no longer. We'll start with the first game of Week 6, and it was the Williams family derby as Middlesbrough took on West Bromwich Albion on Friday night on the Sky Sports telebox at the Riverside Stadium. And I went into this thinking, just get the draw, get out of the way, keep the peace, and it'll all be fine. But on 26 minutes, Borough had other ideas. They took the lead from a David Strelec, his first for the club. It came about from a long throw-in, of all things, launched into the box from Luca Ayling. The West Brom guys didn't track the run of Strelec, and he managed to finish from about 5 or 6 yards out to notch his first for the club. Nothing much really happened in the rest of the first half, so they went 1-0 up at half time. They extended their lead on the 61st minute. On half time, Strelec came off for one of the other summer recruits, Cali Sen, and it was actually Sen who also got his first goal for the club on the 61st minute. A lovely pass and move passage of play from the Borough ended up with Tommy Conway on the ball inside the box. His little cut back found its way to Hayden Hackney, who did a little flick around the corner for Sen to latch onto. He took the ball in stride and then finished in off the post from about 12 yards out to make it 2-0 and put Borough in a very commanding position, which they maintained until the 90th minute when Hegerberg managed to get one back for West Brom. Again, didn't look like there was any danger at all. Bit of just a short throw that helped to sort of punt into the box. Hegerberg managed to head over the Borough keeper, Solbrin, who made the cardinal mistake of going for the ball, then retreating and leaving himself in no man's land, really. So didn't really come for it, didn't really stay on his line to make the saves. So can't really be doing that, Sol. Need to get those little errors just wiped out of your game if possible. Thankfully, didn't really cost the Borough, as they did hold on for 2-1 win in the end. Like I said, predictions-wise, I did go for a 2-2 draw in this one, so no points there. But I did have Strelec score his first for the club, so I actually got a bonus point for the Strelec goal. Stu had gone for a 1-0 West Bromwich Albion win with Hegerberg to score, so bagged himself a point for the Hegerberg goal. Matt, much similar to myself, had gone for a 1-1 draw, and he had two of the goal scorers. and Strelec and Hegerberg. So bagged himself 2 points for the goal scorers. So a point apiece for myself and Mr. Woodmansey. 2 points started for the week. Second game of the week takes us over to Humberside, where Hull City were taking on Southampton. And you were in attendance for this, I believe.
Yep. The first half was a bit mixed at best. I'd say the best early chance fell to Mohamed Baloumi, who was played through by Ollie McBurney, and then when he could have had a shot, decided to pass, and it just gave the Southampton defence enough time to get back in order. However, Hull did take the lead on 22 minutes. Now, do not adjust your sets, ladies and gentlemen. It was a Kyle Joseph home goal, not own goal, home goal. So that's only his second goal for the club. He's played for us for season and a bit now. But yeah, 22 minutes, a deep cross from Louis Coyle, a header from Gelhardt was palmed out by the goalkeeper, and this is how good of a strike it was from Kyle Joseph. The goalkeeper palmed it into him, and it went in. So you take him. The lad will take it. To be fair, he's been playing all right the last few games as well. Obviously scored in the game at Bristol. I think it'll do his confidence the world of good. But yeah, after that, there was a few sort of first half chances, but nothing major. Southampton had probably a couple of chances where they dragged it wide, or they had a free kick where they smashed it over the bar. But yeah, Hull managed to get into half time 1-0 to the good. And then the first 10 minutes of the second half, 9 minutes of the second half, was all Southampton. Hull had to sit tight, defend, but they did that pretty well. Every header out was a solid header. They defended completely as a team. And that paid off in the 59th minute. And it brought one of, if not the best counter-attacking goals I have ever seen in person. Turning defence into attack, Hull playing out from the back. Little 1-2 on the right-hand side. Ball ended up with Louis Coyle again. Had his eyes up, took a look, just over the halfway line. Really deep cross into the penalty area. Ollie McBurney cushioned a header back towards probably around the 8-yard marker, where John Lundstrom met it and side-footed volleyed it past the goalkeeper. Looked where the keeper had time by the weight of the header to look where the keeper was, and just volleyed it to the side of him. And I'm not. That's going to be one of them I'm never going to get bored of watching. It was honestly amazing, really, really good. So yeah, that was 2-0 with Lundstrom as well for City. So from that point, we got the next. We actually went 3-0 up. This was on the 70th minute. Again, do not adjust your sets, ladies and gentlemen. Giles played a free kick in perfectly to the head of Ollie McBurney. Classic free kick sort of routine, but yeah, 3-0 to Hull. Little bit of shock at this point, because bearing in mind Southampton were in the Premier League last season. Yes, they were shit, but they were still a Premier League side. Expected them to do a little bit better than they have done so far this season. Cue the home fans giving it the old mauled by the Tigers, including, and I don't know if you guys have seen this online yet, both of the mascots running from the south stand to the north stand to join in with with giving the away fans some shit, giving it the old mauling hands. But yeah, that was again, probably not sure if they should be doing that, but it was funny to watch. It probably could have been 4 if Ryan Giles, Lundstrom, or Gyabi had any kind of more luck than they did. Giles pulling it wide of the goal when it was probably easier to score, and Lundstrom and Gyabi, when they looked clean through, just couldn't keep it on target. And then, true to form, we can't keep a clean sheet. So why not in the very last minute of the game, in the very last minute of injury time, let Armstrong in? And to be fair, he volleyed it in the very last minute just for Southampton's consolation goal. So I looked at this as a bit of a free hit, really, because I didn't expect anything from it, but I did not expect it to be 3-1. And whilst they didn't necessarily control all of the game, it was one of those games where they actually looked more comfortable out of possession, which again is probably a rare thing for Hull. The only kind of downside to it, I would say, was that after coming back from his ACL injuries from last season, Bellumi was taken off at half time in what was his first start for the club this season. Looks like potentially a hamstring injury. He's been phased back in sub appearances for the last 2 or 3 games before this. So it wasn't like the start was unexpected or possibly ahead of schedule or anything. It just feels like one of them that's either a little bit unlucky or he's just been pushing it a bit too hard in training and now paid the price. But yeah, Ballooney's probably going to not be around for the next 2 or 3 games minimum, I would have thought.
Oh, we might come to that later on. But
edit predictions.
yeah, just sort of like, can we do that thing where on The Simpsons where you just put the cup in front of your face and they just dub in the replacement player. Podcast predictions wise, no one had a Hull City win.
Had the right score.
For a Southampton, well, very much so. Matt had gone for a 1-0 Southampton win with Archer to score, so no points for Matt. I'd gone for a 1-1 draw with Bellumi and Azaz, no points for me. Stu did have a 3-1 win, but for the away team. Gelhard, Archer, Azaz, and Fraser as a goal scorer. So no points for anybody on that one, sadly. We go to the first of 2 Nottingham Forest games as we see Burnley taking on Nottingham Forest. And this was Angie's 3rd game in charge. Are we starting to see a bit more of his ideas taking effect, shall we say?
By what, conceding lots of goals? Yeah. So again, they made the heady trip to Burnley, just down the road from Blackburn. Which maybe we can mention in a bit. Forest got off to a flying start with Nico Williams scoring within 2 minutes. So it says 2 minutes, but it was kind of 1 minute and 23 seconds, I think I saw somewhere. So a cracking start. Apparently Forest were on the front foot, a lot of possession. I think one of the reports that I said it seemed like a game very reminiscent towards the end of last season as well, where teams kind of got switched on to the fact that Forest played counter-attack with Nuno. So, and as you know, with Burnley being a promoted side and built on strong defence, as we're repeatedly told. So I think Forest had a lot of the possession. Annoyingly, Forest conceded after 20 minutes. I feel like when I read this name, I feel like it's a name that's come up a lot with Forest. He's like a bogey player. I think it's Jadon Anthony, isn't it, who used to play at Bournemouth. But yes, he popped up and scored after 20 minutes. And from a lot of the kind of match report, he was allowed to run a long way without anybody picking him up, without anybody giving him a nudge, without any kind of attempt to stop his run. So he popped up, slotted it away, and then I think then from pretty much after that, Forest had well over 60% of possession and knocked on the door for most of the afternoon, only for it to remain quite firmly shut. So results in a 1-1 draw.
You were saying you were Parker balled to death in the second half, basically.
Yes.
Of course.
Once again, it's kind of like, everybody rants and talks about how good it is and how successful he is. But let me have a quick look at the table. Where are Burnley? Oh, right, they're 16th. Yeah.
Yes, for anyone who's new to the podcast, obviously, our thoughts on Mr. Scott. I'll just wear whatever sort of, fashion designer wants to throw some clobber my way, Parker.
Oh no, I think unfortunately he's stupid enough to go and buy the shit. If you look at Ange is getting free Paul Smith stuff because Paul Smith is a Nottingham Forest fan and that's stylish shit. If people were willing to give me Paul Smith stuff, I'd wear it. But Scott Parker's stupid enough just to buy it, apparently.
It's like the posh version of you got to get the badge in.
Yeah.
For those of you who are getting confused, Paul Smith, the designer, not Paul Smith, the lead singer of Maximo Parker. So predictions wise, my prediction was done with this within the first 80 seconds of the game, as I'd gone for a 0-0 draw. So keep it tight, lads. Keep it tight. I did get my draw, so I did get a point. Stuart gone for a 2-1 Nottingham Forest win. Sadly, Foster, Wood, and Ndoye did not score, so he gets no points. Mr. Mother had gone for a 1-1 draw, so bagged himself 2 points straight off the bat. Sadly, nothing extra as Cullen or Wood did not score. That leaves us with the final game of the week, and it is Nottingham Forest's first foray into European football for nigh on 30 years. They travelled to Seville to take on Real Betis. And how did they get on?
All right. I was reading something earlier, and I think it's 1996 that Forest last played in Europe. So technically, it's 30 seasons since we last played in Europe, because the 95-96 season would have been when we started in Europe. And I was at the last game that they played in Europe. It was a 5-1 loss at the City Ground to Bayern Munich. Ironically, they'd gone to Bayern Munich, lost 2-1, where Steve Chattel had scored a really late on goal, and everyone was like, "Oh, if we just get 1-0 at the City Ground, we can go through on goal different away goals." Yeah. Jurgen Klinsmann. It was like that. It was the great Bayern team before the great Bayern team now, kind of thing. Oliver Kahn, I think, was still in goal, and like that kind of 96 will have been the German Euro 96 team that won that kind of following summer, which.
Yeah.
Annoyingly, it's been 30 years since I've made that link between those two things. So, literally right now, I've gone, oh shit, yeah. It kind of ruined me twice in the space of, 6 months, if not less. So yes. So yeah, 30 years, kind of 30 seasons, if you want to call it that, since Forest were last in the thing. I think someone said, "Oh well, they spent 2/3 of it outside of the Premier League." You're like, try 23 years, 24 years of that. It's not even, it's like what do you want to call that? 60%? No, it's not even more than 60%. Whatever. Yeah, whatever that is, it's a lot more than 60%.
Too much. We'll just stick it with too much.
So yeah. Again, with like I said, with the extortionate £31 a month for TNT to watch it, I did not watch it, but didn't start off great with Beckham Mubu.
Bakambu.
All right, I've definitely written it down wrong in my book. Scoring about 8 minutes in, I think, if memory serves
15.
me right.
15.
15 minutes in. And to be honest, I missed the goals. And then Igor Jesus equalised within 3 minutes, and then extended Forest lead. Well, gave Forest the lead after 23 minutes. I've not seen the first one. The second one's a really good header, like kind of one of those ones where you see the performance and you think, "Oh, maybe we won't be." Maybe we won't be getting our wood out all the time from now on, but we might be bowing down to Jesus. And then Forest proceeded to. So from what I listened to and what I read, Forest dominated the game for a good chunk of it, and then decided to start taking players off. And I know it's this kind of thing now. You have to make changes after 60 minutes to keep it fresh and stuff like that. But it seemed to really kind of take the momentum out of Forest. And then I think everybody probably had him in the predictions. Of course, Anthony steps up with a couple of minutes left to equalise for Betis, to leave it 2-2. It's one of them ones where at the start of the night, if someone had said, "You've drawn 2-2 away at in possibly the toughest game in the league phase that Forest have got," you go, "Brilliant, we'll take that." However, leading till the last 2 or 3 minutes kind of leaves you wanting a little bit more.
Sadly, I know exactly what you're talking about there, really. Yeah. To be fair, the first Jesus goal was actually very, very good. It was like a lovely sort of like passing, like team sweeping move, the sort of moving from one flank to the other. I think it was Gibbs White found himself out on the right, and it was his ball across. Jesus just managed to sort of like peel off around the back of the defender and just sort of like topped it in from about 2 or 3 yards out. Well, it was a very nice move. And I said in our little group chat, I know we've covered it before, but Elliot Anderson really is a wonderful player to watch. He's just always wants to be on the ball, always shows himself like, he's always available, shall we say. So, yeah, very nice to watch. And the fact that he's English is an added bonus, as hopefully we get to see him more for the national team as well. Predictions-wise, Matt and myself had both gone very, very doom and gloom as we'd gone for the Betis wins. Matt had gone 2-0 with Anthony and Isco, so I guess there's a bonus point for the Anthony goal. I'd gone 2-1 with Anthony, Fornals and Gibbs White, so I get a bonus point for the Anthony goal. Stu had gone for a 1-1 draw, so I guess there's a point for the result. And he had gone for Anthony and Anderson to score, so I guess there's a bonus point. So I got 2 points for this particular game. So that means after 4 games, myself and Mr. Woodmansey find ourselves with 3 points from those 4 games. But Matt takes the win with 5 points from the 4 games in question. Well done, Mr. Moore. Week 7 is fast approaching, and it brings with it 5 games. The first of which sees Southampton taking on my lot, Middlesbrough. This is obviously one of those situations where Middlesbrough have to put up with Hull's sloppy seconds for the first time this season.
Last season it was always the other way around, so it's only fair.
Well, I mean, it has to happen at some point, doesn't it? So, yes, it is my team. I will give my prediction last. So I will go straight to Mr. Woodmansey for his prediction on Southampton versus the Borough.
So, there's always that thing about if a team's doing badly and they're out of form, come and see one of our teams.
Oh, yes, I'm very sure.
Well, I fully expected that against us. And quite honestly, they could have gone through an all-you-can-eat buffet and still, they'd have had no hope of finishing anything. It was just They were terrible, considering that the two centre halves, I think, as well, were again Premier League playing. Just no. So I hope I'm not jinxing this, but I am going for a Middlesbrough win. So I've gone Southampton 1, Borough 2, with Fraser for Southampton and Nipan and Conway for the Borough.
Okay. Matt?
I have gone for a 2-2 draw with Adam Armstrong to score for Southampton and, of course, Old Boy Rule Azaz. And I've gone Hayden Hackney and Nipan for Borough.
Yeah, old Nipan's getting quite a lot of plaudits at the moment, and I don't like it, as I wouldn't be surprised if Man City have a recall clause in that particular loan that gets activated in January if he starts doing much better.
What you need to do is take a leaf out of the Hull City book of borrowing a Manchester City youngster and play him for a game and a half and then sit him on the bench. Not going to get recalled that way.
It's a very, very good ploy. So, Stuart predicted a Middlesbrough win. Matt has predicted a draw. I too have predicted a 2-1. Southampton win. It's just all the hallmarks of it. They're terrible. Haven't won since the opening day. We're flying. Top of the league. They've got a couple of old boys in their team. I think this has got all the hallmarks of a Southampton win for me. Bang out of form, like Stu said, get one of our boys in, and they'll make it right. So I've got the Archer and Azaz to pair up for the Southampton goals, and I've got Strelec to continue his good goal scoring form.
Interesting.
Second game of the week.
Sorry,
yes.
I know that he technically, obviously, he still can come on and score. But what surprised me about Southampton at the weekend was that Archer wasn't in the starting lineup. He only came on as a sub quite late on. I thought he'd be prime fodder, but no, apparently not.
I think his confidence is just absolutely shot to pieces. Like, I think he's one of like several in that squad that just needs building back up again.
What you're saying is you need the goalkeeper to palm it into him for it to rebound in. That's what he needs.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to say it. Did anybody hear the interview with, is it Still, the Southampton thing? I mean, he's not building anybody's confidence, is he? When last, you were a bit unlucky there. No, we weren't. Didn't deserve to get anything from that game. I was like, fucking hell, all right, mate.
I mean, he's not even taking his serious amount of Football Manager training seriously there, has he? Because you'd never see that quote on Football Manager anywhere. So
yeah, he's clicked. Oh, what he's done is he's gone with the other column and he's typed out his own little sentence. Full
deputy dog response.
It's just a good job for him that it was absolutely biblical rain during the game as well, because the sun shines quite brightly on the West Stand normally. So. Yeah, it was safe.
Well, our second game of the week does involve Hull City again. Obviously, Southampton don't have to worry about getting panned by them because they're long gone. Watford are the opponents this week for Hull. I'll ask the question, even though it's an away game. In attendance?
No, I have been to Watford before, but not this time around.
So no live attendance for the Woodmansey clan, but we will still make predictions. It is his team who will go last. I'll jump in here. I've gone for a 2-1 away victory. I've gone for Iran Kunda to score for Watford, and then I don't know, is it pronounced Joseph?
Oh,
because he can score now. So this will be the run of games like where he just continues to score from now until the end of time.
Clock's right twice every day, so
So what you're saying is, if you just stand in the 6-yard box, we'll just see what happens, is there?
Yeah, basically, he just
at some point he's going to hit him and go in.
Don't move. The keeper will just continue to palm balls into him, and he's gonna be the top scorer for the rest of the season. Yes, I've gone for a goal apiece for Joseph and Gelhardt. Matt, your prediction for Watford Hull?
I've gone for a 1-1 draw. I've gone for Jerumgard for Watford.
Of course you have.
I think we should do it every week. Which predict
Well, obviously.
the strike.
So basically, what you're saying is, I need to go on before each particular show and work out the weirdest name for every single team.
Weirdest,
And
longest,
obviously,
the most difficult.
Matt will have picked that team.
Come on, in this day and age, you cannot say weirdest. Highest score in Scrabble might be the most basic way of putting.
Yeah, well, right. Give us it again.
Jerumgard.
Jerumgard.
Yeah. Do you spell that for us live?
I think his mates just call him Luca. So.
Come on then,
Dave, for sure.
Well, yeah. K. So it is K.
Yes.
I can definitely pronounce that one. J.
Yeah.
If this guy's not like of some sort of Nordic disposition, I will teach
go with that. Yes.
KJE double R UMGAARD.
Well done.
Kerumgard.
Google that.
Lovely. And your goal scorer for
Gelhardt.
Lovely stuff. Mr. Woodmansey, how do you see it panning out for your boys?
I've gone for an optimistic 1-1. Semedo for Watford and Gelhardt for Hull. Popular choice.
Yes, very popular. If he doesn't score, you're going to see 3 glum faces staring back at you next week when it comes to the whole game. We'll finish off the third game of the Saturday slate, and then we'll come back and do the last 2 games. This one is live on the Sky Sports Telebox as Nottingham Forest take on Sunderland. Boo. Mr. Mosting, he will give his prediction last. I've gone for a 2-1 home win. I've gone for Ndoye and Kali Muendo to score for Forest and Xhaka to shithouse one in for Sunderland. Stu?
I love the fact that you've done yourself on the spelling with that particular prediction, so well done for that one. I have gone for a 2-0 home win with Wood finally and Ndoye. I assumed that they'd maybe give old Jesus a little rest after his trot out in the week, so a bit of squad rotation maybe.
Well, Mr. Wood not firing at the moment, so we'll have to wait and see, I suppose. Matt, how do you see it going?
I've gone for a 2-2 draw.
Yes.
We're conceding quite a lot of goals at the moment, so it's going to be, we'll see how it goes. And I've stuck with Jesus. I'm not sure. It's one of those things. Is he going to be the Europa Cup striker, or is he going to be the league striker? But if he has a good game like he did tonight, he might keep his spot. So I've gone Jesus and Dillian Bakwa.
Yeah.
Because he seems to be the league kind of winger. And then I've gone Isidore and Siddiqui?
Noah Siddiqui.
Yeah.
There was a name that they kept bringing out. Mukiele, they kept saying on the radio on Sunday when they were playing against each other, and I was like, oh, it's quite a nice sounding name, that. And then
I think he's the one who got sent off, though, isn't he? The one who...
No, Mandava. Ronaldo
right.
Manda got sent off. And quite right, too, because, no offence, mate, you can't just boot someone in the chest if you think he pushed you over or not. So...
Yeah, that was a nasty one. Yeah, that one.
Get away with that one. Strange. Let's put it that way. So yes, we do have 2 games left to predict, but we will need to step away momentarily for a quick break. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back to predict Hull versus Preston North End right after this. And just like that, we're back to predict our final 2 games of the week. And what seems oddly late for the start of the season, it's our first midweek championship fixtures. Strange that we're all the way almost into October. Excuse me. The first of which sees Hull City taking on Preston North End. Obviously, it's Mr. Woodmansey's team. He will give his prediction last. Just you going to this one?
Yeah, it's not half term. It's just too late for the kids, isn't it?
Don't want to put them through it either.
Which, bearing in mind, Matt, if you remember, we took them as part of the whole Christmas break. We took them to Preston on Boxing Day last year. Yeah.
So you've got to balance out the amount of Preston that they've had to suffer through in the past 2 years. So you made them suffer, no doubt, twice last year, or I don't know. So this season, I don't know how much in calendar years wise, January to January, they've seen of Preston, but football calendar wise, they saw it twice last year. So this year we'll have a year off of Preston.
I think it's a sensible approach to take, shall we say. Let's go to Mr. Moore for his Hull versus Preston prediction.
I might have given away my leanings in my kind of slight damning of Preston, shall we say? I've gone for a lovely 0-0 draw on a Tuesday evening.
Oh, what a treat Mr. Woodmansey has in store. I've gone slightly more optimistic. I've gone for a 1-0 win, and I definitely didn't write Baloomy down. I definitely initially went for McBurney.
Oh.
Yeah, okay then.
Okay. So, how do you see it playing out?
I have gone for an optimistic 2-1 home win. I feel like we own one a bit after last season. So I have gone for McBurney and Gabby. If you just write former dirty Leeds on your spelling, we'll know who you mean. And then I have gone for Valentine for Preston.
Now, is it spelled without a second E?
It is, and it's got like a funny little thing above the N, which I'm sure. I'm apologies to anybody. I didn't mean it as an odd thing. It's an accent. Maybe is the.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, we'll go with that. So that just leaves us with the final.
I mean, we've got to be careful though that Tuesday, because there's two like eminently ball bag of a man kind of things in close vicinity with each other, with who the Preston manager is and the whole striker as well. Like the world might implode. The people are predicting the rapture this week. I mean, maybe it's coming on Tuesday when those two are in close vicinity. It starts in Hull.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I would absolutely kill for an exciting Hull versus Preston game, but I'm not sure the rapture was part of that particular script.
Stranger things have happened.
I mean, it'd be a list of strangest things.
Well, watch this space. Our final game of the week sees my lot, Middlesbrough, taking on Stoke City. Stoke, some would say, surprising team to find it in second place in the league, no doubt. I say, I mean, I'm sat there just like, yeah, because everyone was tipping the Borough up to be top of the league. So, yes, a clash of the top two. Whether they'll still be the top two come this game is still to be found out. Well, I know that Borough will still be top.
I was going to say, you'll
So, yes. Obviously, it's my team. I'll give my prediction last. Let's go to Matt for his prediction on Middlesbrough versus Stoke.
I've gone for Borough to extend their lead, or Saturday dependent, with a 2-1 Borough win.
Lovely.
I've gone Strelick and Conway to score.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my standard Stoke prediction. It's Manhoof, because,
Why wouldn't it be? Stu?
I feel like at some point this run has got to come to an end, but I daren't be the one to predict it. So I'm going for Middlesbrough 1, Stoke 0, with Strelick for the Borough goal.
Interesting.
I've liked what I've seen of him so far.
Yeah, he's been very, very good. Like I said, I think I said in our pod from last week, he looks like he's got a bit of something about him. He looks like he's quite burly, quite physically strong, more than anything else, and he's got a neat touch. I think I even said last week that he gives me sort of the Duca-esque sort of vibes. That might have good touch for a big man and stuff like that. But listen, he's played a game and a half. Well, he's not even played a game and a half because he got pulled at half time on Friday night. So he's currently played 2 halves, and he's got a goal. So I'll take that. That's good enough for me. I have gone optimistically for to get back on the wagon, so to speak, having predicted them to lose away at Southampton. So having a slightly better time against a team that play usually in red and white stripes. I've gone for a 2-1 home win. I've gone for Conway and Sen, and then Lewis Baker to score for Stoke because he had an unsuccessful loan spell at the Borough. So therefore, the old boy rule 100% is in effect for that one. So that brings us to the end of this week's pod. Although, as Mr. Moore did say earlier in the podcast, it would be remiss of us to not discuss briefly the debacle that went on at Ewood Park when Blackburn found themselves 1-0 up with 80 minutes played against Ipswich, and due to the fact that their pitch is wank, they could not complete the final 10 minutes. And yes, I believe a decision is due on that. Not the day of the podcast in any way, but I believe tomorrow. I believe they're due to vote on how they wish to complete the fixture, shall we say?
Have you heard what the Blackburn manager said?
No, but I can only presume it's going to be something great.
It was, we should get the 3 points because we were 1-0 up and they were down to 10 men. And you feel like, oh, that's your opinion, is it? No shit, kind of thing.
Even if Blackburn were 3-0 down at home and they were the man, a man down, their manager is going to say, "Give us the 3 points," regardless, isn't he? Idiot.
It's like on the other foot, he's not going, oh, yeah, give them the 3 points because, we were a man down. There's no way we were going to definitely score and kind of bring it level. If it was 3-0, you'd think, yeah, fine, give them the game. But it's 1-0. It was in the balance. Give him
If he was going to be a gentleman about it, he should say, do you know what? It's our ground staff's partly our ground staff's fuck up. They travelled an awfully long way. Let's give them the 3 points instead.
It's just it's like the thing for me is, yeah, if anything, should they not be punished for the fact that their pitch wasn't in a decent enough condition to make sure that the game was completed?
The most ridiculous thing is going to be I hope that the referee had noted down any extra time that needed to be added on, because this is the suggestion that they're going to go back and play the last 10 minutes plus added time, minus Jacob Greaves, and like, you imagine. Right, lads, we've got to go. Everybody's got to go back to the way they were. Right, Jacob, you in your big jacket with your kit on underneath, sat in the dressing room. Like, fucking hell.
What they should do is they should actually go and they should get the game started, but for the previous 80 minutes before that, They should all just have to run around the pitch so they're sufficiently shagged out by the time they get to that point in the game that they would have been at to finish it off.
And water it to the appropriate amount that it was to the point.
Yeah,
just
I've heard
before
that as well.
The game.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. That they should just make sure they're just just tipped, the entirety of the sort of the south stand like pints on there or something like that, just to make sure it's a similar sort of level as to how it was before it got stopped.
Very, very tenuous link, but with reference to watering of pitches, has anybody seen the eagle that they fly around Nice's ground before the start of the game get absolutely blasted in the face by one of the watering cannons on the pitch? And you think, my God, I mean, bless the guy who's the handler, because you must have been shitting himself at that moment.
Oh dear.
So yeah, go and find that one. Yeah, that is quite funny.
It's probably not going to go down well, is it?
As like fans and supporters of like other championship sides, though, should we not really be petitioning for them to not just play the last 10 minutes, to play the full game again? I don't know, 2 days before they're due to play one of our teams next, perhaps.
Yeah, or the same day.
Well,
if we can try, hopefully it'll fall on the weekend when Hull are playing Ipswich and Borough are playing Blackburn, or vice versa, and then we'll just be like, yeah,
just baseball style. Also, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, golden.
And as everyone knows, Ipswich to Blackburn is a mere 5 minutes down the road, so it's not that difficult to get rearranged. Yeah, just like I know this won't be what ends up happening, but for me, I think you just give the result to Ipswich because it's Blackburn's fault. Like in this day and age, if you're a team that is in the second tier of a professional league such as England, you should have absolutely no excuses for it rained too much. Well, yeah, but it's England. It rains an awful lot, especially in Lancashire.
I was just about to say, it's not even just like, oh, you're in England. No, you're in Lancashire, notoriously the wettest of the counties.
Just unbelievable. Like someone has properly taken their eye off the ball there from like a Blackburn perspective.
Spinning way off football, but obviously it was quite a few years. Obviously, Lancashire haven't won the county championship in cricket for a long time due to the rain. And I'm sure some witty person, when they did win the county championship recently, said, well, at least global warming's done something good for us.
If they keep having this problem at Blackburn, though, if they need to actually replay the game, maybe they could play it at Burnley or something instead, because that'd go well, right?
Oh, we did finish our game.
They seem to have a problem.
Excellent drainage at Burnley. I think they drain the life out of half the supporters every time they have the game at home. So
too good.
And anybody who's had the misfortune of watching them as an away fan as well.
Oh man, I'd need to get the stats up. But what was it? Something like a record number of 0-0 draws last season or something like that. Christ almighty. So yeah, like I say, there's a verdict due on how they wish to fulfil the fixture tomorrow.
Tiddlywink. Do it.
They're just going to end up playing they're just going to replay the game. It's going to be in full, the full 90, and the result will stand whichever. Oh, if it gets like the 88th and it gets rained off again or something like that, that'll be absolutely juicy as all the hell. So, but yes, we'll see. Have either of you boys either been to a fixture that's been abandoned at any point? Can't say that I have, and I've been at a game where the rain was proper biblical. Like this was at Pools, and I don't know if Matt's never been to Pools, but Stu's been before. The stand that we stand at Pools, it's not covered. So yeah, we were a touch moist, shall we say, coming away from that game.
The closest,
but it lasted the full 90. They didn't get abandoned.
The closest I've been is literally the first Forest game that I should have gone to. It being called off kind of 45 minutes before the game because of the snow. That was the closest.
Yeah, I think we might have been in the car or ready to set off as a game was announced that it was postponed because of the snow. That's happened before.
Mine wasn't because of the weather. Mine was one of the festive fixtures a few years ago, and the game got called off because of too many players were poorly because of COVID. And again, that was actually Blackburn at home. Maybe it's a Blackburn thing. Maybe they just look for excuses.
It's because the Borough players you had too many sick players was against Blackburn all those many years ago.
Yes, it is funny actually you should mention that, because I did see that someone had put a comment on a Gazette, the Middlesbrough Evening Gazette post about the fixture, and they said, give the result to Ipswich, then just put like something, never forget, or something like that. It's like, it wasn't Blackburn's fault. If anything, it's the FA that fucked us over. But yes, for
never
people
forget
that don't know,
to cling on for the rest of your life.
For people that don't know, or for people that are unaware of this, Middlesbrough were unable to fulfil a fixture against Blackburn Rovers, as I believe that Brian Robson said that at the time they had something like 8 first-team players available. Didn't go into the fact that they could have just literally played the under-18s, the under-15s, the tea lady, the kit man. They could have literally put anyone who was connected with the club out, and they would have lost the game, but not have been deducted the 3 points that eventually relegated that season. Had they not had the 3 points taken off them, they would have finished 14th, I think. So, yeah, in hindsight, not the best decision by Mr. Robson, shall we say. What were you going to say, Stu?
All the talk about Blackburn, found, like, weirdly, I've pulling back the curtain on the podcast a little bit, started a new book for the beginning of the season, and the old book had been kicking around, and I thought, I'm not going to need this now. I'll file that one away. And I was having a little flick through it, and I think the old book had lasted like the last maybe season and a half, maybe. The book fell open on the Hull Blackburn game from last season. Very forgettable game, obviously. Completely not remembered it. The score ended up being 1-0 to Blackburn, with a Sean McLaughlin own goal. So it turns out he was an insider all of this time. If you've forgotten, he went to Blackburn in the transfer window this season. So boo that man. Boo that man.
I mean, on that bombshell, I don't think we can end it any other way, can we, ladies and gentlemen? So there you have it. There is your week 7, I believe. It's week 7 or week 8. It was week 7. Week 7 fixtures predicted. Join us again next week, where we'll go through those fixtures. We'll bring you some more games from Borough, Hull, and Forest. It'll be Forest's second foray into European competition for the first time in 29 years, as previously discussed. But this one will take place at the City Ground, so obviously we'll have very, very important predictions to get to you next week. As always, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. And we'll see you all again next week. Tatty bye for now.
So there you go. What do you think to that? Another one done, another one gone. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, thank you for being here. If you want to be more of a crew member, as we like to call the crew, the CookieCast crew, you can see, yeah, you want to be a crew member, click that like, click that share it with all your mates. Like, you like football, don't you? Here you go, check this out. Subscribe. That way you get all the latest episodes, not just the football, all the other ones we do. Leave a review. If you enjoyed it, somebody else might enjoy it, but how would they know that they would enjoy it without a 5-star review? And check out the website, thecookiecast.com. There we have social media links and an email button, and that way you can get in touch with us. That is it for this one. Until next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.
Thank you for listening to these grumpy old men talk about football. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like, share and subscribe.